Okay, one more time. Whoop. The late adopter for the second time. Whoop. How you doing, guys? Welcome to the Bitcoin Daily, 9 a.m. Central European Time on the dollar. We do the show Monday to Friday on the dollar, 9 a.m. because we gotta know. We gotta know what's happening in Bitcoin, altcoins, everything else in the space, and and how it's gonna affect our billions in the future, So we do the show every single day, checking out Bitcoin, chart is going up, is it going down, what can we expect to happen? And in this video, we're gonna talk mostly about Bitcoin parabolic moves, to be precise, because there have been some kind of mentioning, and this is a parabolic move towards the downside. So we're gonna look at that, look how this actually can play out. I'm also gonna explain how, nature of the parabolic moves, how parabolic moves actually happen. We also gonna, for you who are in technical analysis fans club and everybody else that likes technical analysis, we're gonna explain a little bit about trend lines, channels, why some lines are more. Oh Christ, just a second, I managed to spill coffee over my keyboard. Oh man. Dude, no. How much? I'm deaf again. Morning. No sound. So how much? When did my sound get turned off? That's what I want to know. Do you hear me now, dude? It's on now. But did you hear anything? Anything at all? Have I been talking for like 5 minutes without any sound at all? Or did the sound go away when I spilled the coffee? When I hit the keyboard, okay. After I hit the keyboard, okay. You turned it off when you were doing something at the keyboard. Okay, when you were cleaning keyboard. Okay, the keyboard messed up the sound. Okay, 1 minute. Good. Okay, so what I said was I'm gonna explain to you about some lines on the chart. Number one, we're gonna talk about parabolic moves on Bitcoin. Wow, this show is actually going very badly in the morning. But again, it's all good. I really don't care that I spilled the coffee and everything. I slept well, guys. So it's all good after the spill. Okay, so we'll talk about parabolic moves. We'll talk about trend lines. And for everybody that's in technical analysis fans club, they're gonna love this, of course, because you love technical analysis. And by the way, for everybody else wanna learn a thing or two, I'm gonna talk about trend lines and why certain trend lines are more bearish than bullish, and why other trend lines are more bullish than bearish. So we're gonna talk about, for example, why some channels are more bullish than bearish, and so forth. And that goes directly with the idea of how these parabolic moves are playing out, and why do they break and not break, and where are we seeing some kind of ending on this show. We're also gonna talk about gold and oil and recession, a little bit about stocks, and how this where Bitcoin fits in all of this, because I think right now that gold, for example, might go down to 14,000-15,000, something like that, give or take, and because the pattern that's playing out right now in gold is on the bigger time frames exactly the same that's just played out on Bitcoin. And once you see that, you're gonna understand that the gold might just drop down a big towards downside. Now if gold drops down, oil drops down, Is the recession gonna continue? Is the stocks gonna go down? Is it gonna pull more Bitcoin towards downside, or is Bitcoin done already? I also got this theory is when everything crashes towards downside, there will be big influx of money from traditional markets into the crypto space. So the question is, will my theory actually play out or not, right? So we're gonna talk about that. Besides that, let's just check who is in the chat right now, and then we're gonna start the show. Blues Army, are you happy today? Yes, I'm very happy today. I slept like a baby. Yesterday I said I'm gonna get wife to fix this baby stuff, so you know, she's fixing that. Now she's cranky because she's not getting sleep, but I'm getting sleep, guys. I'm getting sleep. I think it was 7.5, 8 hours sleep. Very nice. I slept very well, so it's all good. Good morning, S. Good morning, Linda Vatton from the UK. Blues Army, afternoon from Malaysia. Malaysia is in the chat. Sergey, should I long or short Bitcoin right now? A little bit unsure about that. A little bit. Salim, hodling is a lot like becoming homeless. Roshten Army, Rami, good morning. Rundar, Christo, Captain is in the chat. Hi, Captain. Ben, good morning all. How you doing? Edward, too good. Good morning. Edward is in chat. Pow pow. Where is this guy? I'm here right now. Iceberg, 10 is the bottom. 10 is, it might be. I'm gonna talk about that as well. Hexrise, time to liquidate, folks. Time to liquidate. Afternoon, Jack Baker. Afternoon, Captain. There we go. There we go. Edward Blues and everybody else that came out later in the chat. We've been actually going a lot. Yo, from India, deep. Bridge Capital, I have a question. Bitcoin needs to be against inflation to preserve your money. Yeah, it might be that. And now it's falling the hardest of all. How come? You know, Bitcoin is actually inflationary. It you know, the stockpile of Bitcoin is getting more and more every year, right? So the Bitcoin is in fact inflationary until 2100 or something like that, when they figure out that there will be no more issuing of Bitcoin. But the only thing that moves Bitcoin towards upside, and right now, even though it is inflationary, it's the adoption and the market, you know, pumping into the Bitcoin. So the more people come, there are actually working as a hedge against this inflation, because, you know, more people want this, and the demand is higher than the supply. So as long as demand for Bitcoin is higher than supply, then inflation in the Bitcoin really does matter. Really does matter. Dogecoin supporter here. So, but my theory is that, you know, once stock markets and everything crashes, that there will be a big influx into the crypto space, because crypto will be going up against the space. But we will see how that's actually going to work out. Less than 20 million bits, yet FTX volume is 1.5 billion. Yeah, what do you don't get about that? Also, there is a lot of wash traded volume. There is a site called Real Volume or something like that. Real exchange volume or something like that. No, not this one. I mean, there is Bitcoin traded volume. Maybe it's this one. Yeah, this one over here. So this, the 95% of reported Bitcoin volume is fake. Below is the real volume. It's smaller but orderly and regulated than widely understood. So they have been doing some research. You can see here that Bitcoin spot 24-hour volume is only at 4 billion right now. 4 billion up here. And you know, on Binance it's 2.4 billion. Then you got a Coinbase, Bitfinex, Kraken, and so forth. Now what you're gonna see here that on Bitcoin 24-hour exchange, CME Group also does 4 billion in 24-hour volume. Backed is only doing 60 million. But you know, this is the real volume. This is the real volume. Maybe because it's BTC perpetual. Yeah, it might, you know, futures volume can be a lot higher than you know, paper volume can be, and then actually spot volume. So there is that. The XY looks terrible. Sand looks like a long today. Maybe. So we're gonna talk about that. Okay, guys, let's start and talk about the charts up here. Sorry about that. What's happening with my keyboard, man? What's happening with my keyboard? I messed up my keyboard, guys. Oh man. There is still some water. I did not mean to do that. Sorry. I had to bang. My C is not working. Let me just change. Let me just steal the keyboard from my wife. Okay, new keyboard, guys, new keyboard. Yeah, this is working right now. It's always good to have a backup keyboard. His C is stuck. I'm taking most of my flow off the exchange this weekend when I get my ledger set up. I don't think ledger is actually as secure as people want it to be, though. We can also say a quick word about it. This is dumb. It's not true, dude. Don't get out of the rice to dry it out. Yeah, I might need to put it into the rice. So we're gonna see here. On my Lenovo gaming laptop. Now this is the Cooler Master. I got a Cooler Master. It's a little bit big. I wish that it, you know, I didn't have these, you know, keys on the side, but you know, it's a very nice keyboard. I like it. I like it a lot. And I might buy a little bit smaller keyboard because you know, but the problem is that, you know, I would like these, you know, side buttons to be more squished together because I think it's still too big. I think it's still too big. But it's a nice keyboard. It's a good keyboard. There are good keyboards, guys. You know, just buy something that's nice, clickety click. You know, it's just a simple man. So I like small keyboards. I like small keyboards. Nothing secure, better remember private key in brain. Still holding my Bitcoin LTC shorts. Nice, nice. Alif is doing very well with his shorts, though. You can't wait too long. Why is my... Sorry about that. Suddenly it's too... Okay, doesn't matter. Blue switches. I don't think these are blues. I think these are brown switches. I like brown switches, I think. Okay, doesn't matter. Okay, let's go, guys. Let's go. This is inverted chart of Bitcoin. Actually, Bitcoin chart looks something like this, but let's clean up everything. We're gonna start talking about parabolic moves, then I'm gonna explain to you about trend lines and stuff like that, and then we go into the markets, you know, dollar and everything. So, you know, I got stuff to talk to. Going well this stream today. Funny guy, funny. Okay, let's first clean up the moving averages on the chart. What I'm gonna explain to you right now, that this might be a parabolic move towards downside. Now this is logarithmic chart, so we're gonna look at a little bit like this up here. This is regular chart over here right now. So you're gonna see that this move, although it goes like a little bit up, a little bit down, you know, technically it is going into some kind of parabolic move towards downside. Now if you invert the chart up here, and we're gonna do that, you know, because it's easier to see this, what you're gonna see here is that the speed is increasing towards the upside. The speed is increasing towards the upside. And anytime you get any kind of parabolic move, guys, anytime you get any kind of parabolic move, you're gonna see that the increases in the chart comes in waves. So first it goes, you know, a certain way. There is a resistance line and support line, and this resistance line gets broken into these bullish or bearish move. So a parabolic move over here increases, created a new channel towards the upside, and then it breaks this channel towards the upside again, and it goes into the last part. And there is also a channel up here at the top up here, but you know, it's really hard to break this channel towards upside, and then it breaks on downside, maybe tries another move towards upside, and then it falls down. This is how parabolic moves usually tend to work. Now what you're gonna see over here on this chart over here, now this is an inverted chart of Bitcoin. We're gonna see, because it's a lot easier to understand what's happening. First you're gonna see that we right now had a nice move towards upside. So over here we are actually increasing the speed of Bitcoin. Now this first part might have also been this part up here where it actually blew over here, and we are increasing the move towards the upside. But you know, there is a different way you can actually look at it. So you can see up here that we are increasing the speed towards the upside right now. We are increasing the speed towards the upside, and this increase of speed came once we broke this line up here, give or take. It might be this one up here as well. So you can see right now we are breaking this move towards the upside, but technically it should be this move up here is broken. This move up here is broken. Something like this up here. This move is broken. So there was some kind of, you know, the first part up here should have been something like this up here, I think. Up here, and then this move up here, you know, increase the line. So we are breaking these support levels and increasing the speed towards the upside. Now this cannot go on forever. This cannot go on forever, and needs eventually to go down. So right now what we have is this part up here. This part up here that goes something like this up here, give or take. And you can see that we have the channel towards the upside as well, right? We have the channel towards the upside. Now if this channel goes, you know, breaks certain levels up here, we are increasing the speed. We are increasing the speed towards up, but it's already going so fast. Now, when you have this fast speed towards upside, it's very hard to break this line up here. It's a lot easier to break this line. So why is that? So right now we're coming to that, you know, explaining the trend lines. So let's assume we got some kind of price that goes sideways. It can as easily break towards downside than it can break towards upside, because the move, you know, the price needs to move equal amount to each side, and then it, you know, just needs to hold above that. So having some kind of trend, horizontal trend line is very easily broken. Now if you have a slightly turned, you know, some kind of trend line towards upside, some kind of trend going something like this, it's a lot easier to break this trend towards downside, because price needs to go less towards downside than to upside. Not only that, once it breaks towards upside, it needs to keep on climbing towards upside as well, because the price, if it goes back, you know, where it was, is gonna be back inside the channel. And this continues, of course, further towards upside. So imagine you have a very you know, steep line towards upside over here, right? And we are in some kind of channel where we are climbing, right? We are some kind of channel we climb. It's a lot easier to push the price below this bottom support down here and just hold it, then push it above here and hold it above the resistance. Because if you hold it above the resistance, it will eventually come back inside the channel, right? So when moves break the trend lines, they are very steep towards the upside, it needs to continue pumping towards the upside. So only very bullish moves breaks these trends towards the upside. So only very bullish moves breaks this trend towards the upside, and only bearish moves and any kind of move towards the downside can break. So these channels that go towards the upside are in theory more bearish than bullish, but during some kind of course, bull market and stuff like that, you will see a lot of these things breaking towards the upside. Why? Because we are very bullish. The same thing goes, you know, the same theory applies for some kind of falling wedges. When you got some kind of fall wedge, the probability is, of course, towards the upside, because it's a lot easier to break, you know, a steep line that's going towards downside than you know, break towards downside in the same direction and then continue falling. In a very bearish trend, this will actually break this on the downside and will continue speed. So we say that, you know, this increases speed towards downside, and that's actually what's happening on Bitcoin. So let's turn it up here a little bit. So what you're gonna see up here, we are actually increasing the speed right now towards downside. We are increasing the speed right now towards downside over here, and every time we increase the speed, we fall faster and faster. But these kind of moves cannot actually continue for that long. This kind of move cannot actually continue for that long. There was some kind of trend line up here, but over here the channel should be something like this up here, give or take. The channel up here is something like this up here, and then you got this channel up here, I think, that we just broke right now. So there was some kind of falling wedge up here that it broke to the outside. So we are increasing the speed all the time. But this part up here, let's zoom in on this over here part. If you see, so right now, this you know, these you know, tops up here, this can actually continue falling down all the way down to some kind of 6,000. This usually doesn't happen, so usually it just goes you know, a little bit up here. I think it's already coming to some kind of close, and what it needs to do, we need to break this trend line to be, you know, for this parabolic move towards downside to be actually finished, and then, you know, recover towards the upside. So that's gonna come. Let me show you up here right now. We're gonna do this chart up here, and we're gonna draw some very nice, you know, very precise trend lines up here on the bottom. This one down here, this one up here, and right now what's happening up here is that we are increasing the speed towards the upside. So you see right now we are increasing the speed several times towards the upside, and, you know, we are pushing the price. I think this break of this channel over here came up here somewhere, right? Came down there, they increased the speed towards the upside. This actually increased the speed more towards the upside, and right now we are having this last part up here that go, you know, we have some kind of nice trend lines up here at the top, give or take, maybe something like this down here, maybe something like this up here. And what you're gonna see here, that this last part, this last, you know, very steep rising wedge, you know, this ends around July, right? So somewhere between right now and July, you know, this rising wedge needs to break, and If we for whatever reason drop outside of this rise, falling wedge, because it was inverse right, if we fall out of the rise falling wedge below this line, which is very hard thing to do, we are gonna go parabolically, you know, last phase towards downside. This is just a big, you know, capitulation drop. I mean, we already have capitulation up here, right? But this might be, you know, last drop towards downside. You know, depends on how low it goes, because this can technically right now go all the way down some kind of 13,000, maybe even down to some kind of 14,000, maybe even down some kind of 11,000. Usually don't get all the way down inside this these wedges, and maybe this line is a little bit, you know, off, or a little bit off. Maybe it should be something like this up here, maybe something like this, and then it's expanding wedge. Then it's spending, right? This can go down to some 13,000-14,000 as well, you know. But these trend lines, doesn't matter how you draw this trend line, this last trend line up here, really doesn't matter how you draw the trend line. They are very, very steep, very, very steep. So for us to go down after having, you know, 50 weeks of red, you know, it is very, very hard to break this towards downside. So I don't see, the way I see it right now, I don't see that this part up here is gonna go all the way down to 14,000, something like that. I think we might get a, you know, move towards downside, but you know, this is pretty much creating some kind of bottom right now. And as soon as we break this trend line, because right now we got these pivot points up here, these pivot points create this trend line over here, and as soon as we get above this trend line up here, that's pretty much done, guys. You can see already that we already are trying to do that. We are already trying to break, you know, towards the upside up here. We are right back down again. You know, the price is still being pushed towards the downside as much as it can. You know, how far down can we actually go down here? That depends, you know, we are not calling. But what we need to know is that once this line up here, once this line is broken towards downside, it's pretty much game over for Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is gonna, you know, start, you know, recovering to, you know, it's either gonna go sideways, or it's gonna go start recovering big time towards the upside. Now you can see this other trend line up here needs to be broken as well, so it might go a little sideways, get up here, and then, you know, rally towards the upside. But it is playing, you know, as we thought it playing. You know, down here the bottom at 70k was kind of high. You know, we managed to pull up here, create this very nice trend line. Right now this is a very, very steep, you know, falling wedge or expanding wedge, depending on which of these two lines you are using. But these lines are very hard to break, very hard to break. In parabolic moves they can actually do that, but now that we have pushed below, you know, we are already at some kind of bottom, right? The question is, will we actually break this line on the downside, which I don't think there is a big probability for that. But we can definitely fall longer down here. We can definitely fall even longer down here. So I'm not calling it just bottom just yet. I think, you know, this needs to play out a little bit, but we are getting to some kind of very, very nice levels. You can see down here that in this, let me just zoom in this last move up here, what's happening right now. Maybe we'll pull something like this up here. In this last move, this looks like some kind of expanding wedge, or maybe some kind of falling channel that we went down right above it. Right now we are back inside that, you know, inside that channel. So I think if we go back outside of this, you know, short-term falling wedge, this is a 4-hourly falling wedge. If we go back outside, we might see a more dump. But on the other hand, if we next time, if we can manage to get above it up here and stay above it, I think it's pretty much done. This move down here is pretty much done, and there will be a rally towards the upside. On the other hand, this can go down here, get some kind of support, and then bounce towards the upside as well. There are several ways how this can actually play out, but we don't see right now any kind of ending, you know, even on these short-term time frames. So this move, you know, outside of the support line on the small time frames was very nice. A lot of bullishness came in. They tried to push the price outside of the wedge. They failed to do that. Bears are still very much in control right now. What I'm seeing, and from, you know, from experience, and you know, the previous times that this has happened, when you go outside of a certain support level, you acquire new people to push the price. You try to push the price, that's why you had a big pullback towards the upside. But unfortunately, bears did pull back the price inside this this wedge. As long as we are inside this little wedge up here, you know, everything is good. There is a big probability to break, you know, for bulls to come back and push the price outside. But if for whatever reason we go back below this line down here, guys, if we for whatever reason go back below the line and below these levels down here at the bottom, down here at 18.9, I think that's 18.9 down here, yeah, 18.9 give or take. If you go back down there, you need to consider that this can actually do another decent move towards downside. Will it come all the way down to 17? Will it go down to, you know, some kind of 16.3b? You know, will it go down to 14? I don't know. but it can be a big move towards downside. So everything right now depends here in the small time frames up here, you know, what's gonna happen upside in this wedge up here. Everything depends on this wedge up here right now. The fact that bulls, you know, acquired new manpower up here and tried to push price above the resistance, and they even managed to do that, but bears are still, you know, taking in control because they pushed it back below the resistance up here. So technically bears are unfortunately winning, but we'll see. We'll see. You know, it is very small, a small move, but we just saw that, you know, on a bigger time frames, you know, breaking these low levels is really not something I'm actually looking to happen. It can happen if we are in some kind of very bearish mode, but I don't know how bearish we are. Well, the only thing we can actually look for is how well the supports are actually holding, and what's gonna happen right now. But this over here is right now a little bit bearish, because bears have managed to push us back below the resistance, and as long as they can do that, you know, that's fine. But so we are looking at this resistance up here. We are looking for a new break towards upside. We want bulls to come in and take control above here. As soon as we are above this trend line up here, that's pretty much it for this move towards downside. We might see a rally towards upside. That's gonna be very nice. On the other hand, I'm saying again, on the other hand, if this moves goes below 18.9 and closes down here on the 4-hourly time frame, that's gonna be very bad, and we might see a bigger drop towards the outside. Now it is 4-hourly move, so you know it will, you know, play out pretty quick. It will play out pretty quick. So there's that. You're on Bitboy payroll. Inflation is not in check. We might have a dead cat bounce. So that's pretty much you know, the nature of trend lines, the nature of parabolic moves, and how this is playing out. We are at some kind of bottom, guys. The bottom is very near. You have to understand everybody is buying. And when I say everybody's buying, I mean rich people are buying, because they don't care if they get a Bitcoin at 20k or 10k, because the next bull rally, there's no way Bitcoin is gonna be you know, still below 20k. There is just no way. It might take, you know, 3-4 years. It might even take longer this time, like 5 to 10 years. Nobody knows, but they knows. No, at the end, you know, when they buy these levels, they are gonna come, you know, out on top. You know, it will be a hedge against everything, right? It moves a lot faster than stock market and so forth. Now let me show you what happened up here. First we'll go, right now we're gonna talk about gold and oil, and I made a video. There is a video on my YouTube page that is saying that oil is coming to an end. So we have been looking at this part up here, and I called the top up here for oil, and I said, you know, because people are calling, you know, oil is gonna go to 300 or something like that, some crazy levels, and I said this is the top up here, and it just might, you know, right now, you know, go down up here and go down. Now it's been going longer than I actually anticipated, but you know, this is oil. This is you know, weekly time frames. You can see that this trend up here, you can see this very steep line over here, very steep line. The trend actually got broken. Entirety of this trend since November 21 up here exploded towards the upside, went below the line, and then it tried to get back above the line. I'm trying to get back above the line and failing. That gives very little, you know, very little confidence in the price. And if you cannot push back above the line and continue pumping, then oftentimes what happens, you go down here, you break the support, and then you drop on downside. So this looks like you're dropping on downside. What needs to happen in that is that it needs to go back below 102 or something like that. It's already on the way down, so oil is gonna go down here, break below the support, and you know, continue down. How long much down, I don't know, but the top of this is already kind of over, and this has a certain I think it has the same kind of pattern. Let's just look at these patterns a little bit. Let's go to the monthly time frame. Monthly time frame is still not done up here. Weekly time frame, it looks a little bit like what I'm about to show you. You know, extend, smack, hug, move towards the upside, dump down here below these levels, and down here to some kind of 70 level or something like that, right? That might happen. Bitcoin just went through this double top pattern up here, extend, smack, hug, dump pattern. So let's go back to that. go up here to the monthly time frame, what you're gonna see here on Bitcoin is that this extend, smack, hug, dump pattern that we have on the channel, you extend, move towards upside, create some kind of, you smack on the trend line, you hug the trend line, you try to go up, you fail, you go back down, you go below the support down here, and then you dump on the downside. So this you know, this extend, smack, hug, you know, usually, you know, often times you see some kind of dump pattern, but sometimes you might see this secondary move towards upside where it creates a double top on top. You go down below the moving averages, below the support, and then you dump on the downside. Will this dump even more on the downside? We don't know. Right now we have monthly close down here below the 50 moving average, which is very technically very bearish, but the good thing for us up here is that we are right now we have right now been having you know, it's not the first candle that's you know, drop down. We already dropped down here below 20 moving average, and this is just continuation below the 50 moving average, so there is a good chance that we might rally right back up here you know, above the 50 monthly moving average. Now let me show how gold actually looks like. This is a chart of gold, this is the chart of gold up here, and this is the monthly time frame of gold. And what you're gonna see here, that monthly time frame of gold and weekly time frame of oil almost looks the same, right? Almost looks the same. It goes up, it goes up, you know, it got some kind of double top up here, then it hugs this pattern, tries to go up and right down, right? Now look at the chart of gold up here. It goes up, some kind of double pattern, it starts, kind of tries to hug this up here, it goes up, fails, goes down, and you know, gold and oil does look very, very similar, and right now they're doing the same thing that Bitcoin did. So let's go up here to the 2 monthly chart so you can see this better. We can also split this chart in two, so I'm gonna show you very nicely how this actually working out. And let's go to the Bitcoin chart up here, and Bitcoin chart on the monthly time frame. So see, it is the same chart. This is the same chart, and the pattern is playing out. This is gold, this is Bitcoin, and you can see Bitcoin, you know, the same move, high up, right back down, high up, right back down, hugging. There is no trend line, so there is no. Let me add the. Oh my God. Let me, there we go. So you can see that, you know, you go down, you're hugging the support, you try to go up, and then you fail, and then you go back below the moving averages, you do zigzag up here, and then you fall below the support down here towards downside, then you fall below the support on the downside. So Bitcoin is a lot further in this move than gold is and oil. So gold and oil looks like they're gonna drop down severely towards downside. So if we assume that this is gonna play out like Bitcoin, and Bitcoin went down to the 50 moving average, we might be seeing some kind of 15,000 on gold as well. It is the same kind of pattern. It's very normal pattern. It does this all the time. It's very how are you gonna say, there is a huge confidence in the pattern, because the pattern happens often, most only at some kind of tops, especially these big time frames do tend to play out very nicely. So this double top that's playing on gold right now, that's playing on Bitcoin, this extend, smack, hug, down pattern, it's exactly the same. And right now it's moving towards downside. Right now so it needs to go below the support down here, and once it does that, it's gonna be pretty much game over for gold, and pretty much game, you know. But the thing about Bitcoin, it's already played out, because once you break the support, you go down, and then you consolidate down here, and that's it. So you know, that's how these patterns play out, right? But right now the gold is right now just coming to that that drop. It needs to break the support on downside over here and dump, and that is, you know, due to happen. Now if you consider that this pattern up here, after we breaking down on the bottom side up here, we took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. 6 months to get the bottom. This is the 2 monthly chart, so 6 times 2, you know, 1 year. So I think for the next 1 year the gold will be going down to some kind of 50 moving average down here. It will, you know, lose a lot of value, and that same thing goes for oil as well. Where is oil? Up here. The same thing goes for oil as well. Let's just delete the chart a little bit up here and go to weekly time frame up here. The same thing goes for oil as well. Oil is gonna play out a little bit, you know, faster than that. That's I extend, you know, some kind of double top up here, hugging the moving average, extends towards upside, starts breaking this towards upside. And down here there is a support level. As soon as this is broken to the downside, it is exactly the same pattern that's playing right now on oil and on gold, that actually already happened on Bitcoin, and that's why why my theory that, you know, market will actually move from, you know, money will move from stock markets, from the traditional markets into crypto space is kind of playing out. Because if we are, you know, one step ahead of the stocks and gold and everything else, that means when everything else is crashing and Bitcoin starts recovering, there will be a lot of money flowing into the crypto space. There will be a lot of money flowing into crypto space. When it comes to stock markets, where is stock markets up here? Let's go back to the normal chart up here for a second. When it comes to the stock markets are just starting doing this move towards downside. Nothing is yet done. You can see down here that we got some kind of falling wedge over here. Maybe this is a regular chart. We got some kind of falling wedge up here. Will this falling wedge right now break towards the upside, or will it increase the speed on downside? This is a little bit hard to analyze, you know, this. And there is no panic in stock markets, guys. I know people that there is a lot of FUD going around about stock markets, about the recession, about inflation, about this and about that. But we are in some kind of falling wedge up here, and you know, we are on the weekly time frame. We are still above the 200 weekly moving average. We are still above the 50 monthly moving average. So the move down is very bad. This is a monthly move down here. Close. This is also very bad bad pattern up here. So I think that there is more, you know, more moves towards downside. So I think stocks will continue dumping towards downside. I'm a little bit unsure how this is gonna play out, but I think, you know, considering that, you know, gold and oil is definitely on the way on downside, this falling wedge up here has, you know, every kind of, you know, probability to break towards upside. But if there's a lot of bearishness, even though this line is very skewed towards downside, they tend to break in very bearish markets. They tend to break, and what happens when you break the, you know, the trend line that goes something like this, you increase the speed towards downside. So you're no longer falling in this direction. Right now you're falling in that direction towards downside. So I think the panic might kick in as soon as we start breaking this line on downside, and you know, gold must start dropping and stuff like that. How long is that gonna take? I'm thinking it might take a little bit while. Something like the entire move for gold is down like 1 year's time, give or take. And then you have some kind of accumulation phase for one more. So, you know, next 1-2 years, this might actually play out. So it might do something like this, then start breaking this on downside, you know, in a couple of months, and, you know, continue on downside. Definitely in the books, definitely the books. Now, considering that there is a recession, inflation, you know, chain supply problems, everything else is happening in the world, everything else is building up, everything else is very bearish. We just see that Bitcoin is coming to some kind of bottom while everything else is just starting to fall down. The question is how this will affect Bitcoin. Now, I'm not, you know, proposing that Bitcoin is going to go down to zero. I think Bitcoin will survive, crypto will survive everything. The question is how long this will actually go on. Will we be very correlated with the markets, or will we actually, you know, will my theory that when, you know, Bitcoin starts recovering, and it's going to start recovering before the stock market, there will be a big influx of people where, you know, the wealth is transferring into Bitcoin and crypto from, you know, stock markets. And we might just have, if that happens, we just might have the biggest, you know, bull rallies in history, right? That might be a huge if that's to happen. On the other hand, if everything just goes down together and then, you know, go ups together, there is no big influx. But, you know, it's normal cycles for the crypto space. It's normal cycles for the crypto space. So I'm technically a little bit still more bearish on stock markets, although I'm giving it a chance because this can definitely break the resistance up here and continue, you know, going towards the upside. But this in strong bearish markets, the way we're seeing economy right now working, this is technically some kind of a possibility. What I definitely think is gonna happen is that gold and oil will drop down big time. Will that affect stock markets or not? I think it will, but, you know, a little bit unsure about that. Bitcoin, on the other hand, is doing well, guys. Bitcoin is doing well. We are already way through, you know, a lot of dumping and stuff like that, right? We are way through a lot of that. How much down we have to go left, I do not know that. Are we just gonna stop up here, break the trend line up here, and continue towards the upside? Are we gonna move even faster towards downside again? You know, some kind of, you know, 6K levels, 10K levels. I don't know how's that gonna play out. But we are getting very close to the bottom. We are getting very close to the bottom. Gold is looking bad, oil is looking bad, stock markets are they could be bad, but they're not bad. But Bitcoin is looking, you know, it's already through the bad stuff. So right now we are in accumulation phase. That's the most important thing you guys need to get from this video. Most importantly, did you get some good sleep? 10-10, man, 10-10. The sleep is well. The body is not well because I've been eating crap like all time. Like, wife makes good food, but you know, between the food and stuff, I do eat like crap. And coming back to this channel and be amazed. Time to buy alts. Should we wait for the big BTC dominance? I don't know, man. I don't know what you guys, I don't know. I can tell you that I bought alts because I don't care. Yeah, the alts that I bought are, you know, pretty decent level. Will they go down lower? It can go down lower. I don't know what you're gonna do, but you know, I did buy some, pretty much. And if it goes lower, I don't care because it's a long-term hold. I'm gonna hold these alts for a long while. I might sell if you get a nice pump towards up, so I might sell and wait for a pullback or something like that, you know. But you know, it's for a long hold. It's for a long hold. So you know, it might take, you know, 3, 4, 5 years. I don't know how long it's gonna take. But you know, it will be money at the end of it. As long as I don't, you know, weekends and sell, you know, I'm gonna be fine. You're making me want to invest in crypto. Stop it. I always go for a run in the woods before surfing the net. Coming back to this channel and be amazed. More dumping to come. It might be. I know you want more dumping to come because you are short, because you know that's the nature of bears. But you know, check the video if TLA called Secrets of Billionaires revealed. Yeah, Secrets of Billionaires. If you want to know what's happening, we got moons right now on the chart. Right now we are having the dump moon over here. The pump moon did not pump us that much. I mean, we went a little bit down, but you know, the super moon up here didn't play out that well. The dump moon started a little bit before that, so it's kind of, you know, it's kind of not actually on the dollar up here. They're kind of inversely correlated almost. This went kind of, you know, down here. Right now it might go a little bit up, or is it going to go down more? A little bit unsure what's going to happen, but maybe it did pump up a little bit on moon and dump down a little bit on new moon, but you know. Overall, what are we thinking in you know, this moon and the next moon up here? Those are the super moons. We are thinking that this over here is gonna be the bottom. How it's gonna play out, you know, we don't know, but you know, it might be the bottom down here. And then, you know, after the next super moon, we are gonna fly to the moon, drop the moon phase here on the daily chart. Yeah, so it looks nice. We like the moons, guys. We like the moons. So we have been predicting that, you know, June, July should be the bottom for Bitcoin. So how that actually on the dollar is gonna play out, we don't know, because moons are not on the dollar. Moons are more like sentiment indicator, you know, sentiment indicator. So right now sentiment is going up, right? So don't look at this as technical moves towards that. Look at his sentiment, right? The sentiment is changing towards upside. Although this sentiment up here is a little bit bearish, next is gonna be hugely bullish, right? And these up here, these are like we are bullish sentiment, but these are bearish sentiment and bearish moves, right? So these sentiments are bigger than the sentiments of the super of the full moons, right? But right now, when you're getting these super moons, the sentiment is a lot bigger towards the upside. So bullish sentiment right now is what might actually help us, you know, recover the chart towards the upside. So that's what we're looking for, and that's a really nice way to saying, you know, the moons are not technical indicator, it's sentiment indicator. Moon betrayed us. Nah. Moons are playing very nicely. Fly me to the moon. Check the video I mentioned, TLA shows it all there. Yeah, so the video that the Central Planet is mentioning is YouTube, the late adopter. Search the adopter secret and you'll find this video up here, the secret of the billions revealed. Check this video out if you want to learn about the moons. But basically what we figured out with the apogee and perigee is, you know, it's called micromoons and supermoons. So check the micromoons and supermoons. Try to, you know, look where the, you know, micromoons and supermoons, you know, fit on the chart. And you'll see the correlation is, you know, uncanny. Very nice correlation between the, you know, the moons and the chart. Very nice moves. People call a wolf at the empty moon. Yeah, I didn't ever think about that. No, but wolves howl at the moon, not at the, when there is no moon. Markets are unpredictable, but I doubt Bitcoin will go up only after the rest of the markets go up. Where is the bottom, sir? Yeah, this might be it, but you know, this is the range, you know, the range of the bottom, maybe. Save the dollar curve slightly heavily. I don't know, like, I know a lot of other people, you know, rich people are buying. I'm not saying that I'm rich, I'm saying I bought. I know that they are buying, they are dollar cost averaging. I was never a proponent of dollar cost averaging up here, because at some kind of tops, you know, that's just crazy. But right now that we are coming down here, because it's very hard to predict whether that's, you know, the bottom is, you know, 19, 20, 17, 16, you know, down here, you know, dollar cost averaging towards downside might be idea, you know, might be idea. Not a financial advice, but you know. How's DXY doing? The dollar right now is coming to an end as well. The dollar should also drop towards downside. So if, because you can see right now it is breaking these trends as well towards upside. Right now it hit this top up here as well. The dollar is gonna definitely drop towards downside, guys. The dollar is gonna dump. There is no way this is not gonna happen. It's not this chart is not monthly chart, guys. This is not monthly chart. This is not monthly chart. So when dollar comes up here right now, extended right now, the pullback down here we are seeing is on the daily time frame. So it just might pull back. So we might see some kind of, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4 months, 5 months, you know, to come down. You know, whether this is gonna break on downside or not, because this is not a long-term chart. This is not a long-term chart over here. The daily chart is right now went parabolic up here. It's coming to some kind of top, so it needs to pull back. Maybe some kind of 98 or something like that. How long that's gonna take? A little bit unsure about that. But if you look at it, you know, if you look at that pullback from the daily time frame down here on the monthly time frame, that pullback, you know, it's just a slight pullback before it can actually continue going a lot more towards the upside. But if the dollar goes down, if gold goes down, if oil goes down, if markets goes down, if housing starts crashing, all of the things right now point towards downside. There is no way to hide, guys. There is no way to hide. And my idea is that since Bitcoin and crypto is already gone down through a, you know, 80-90% drop, while everything else right now start dropping towards downside, all of the money from all of these assets will flow into crypto. That's my theory. The crypto. That's my theory. The money from these assets that are gonna drop heavily towards downside, I think they're gonna flow into crypto because we are already down. We are already down. But yeah, DXY looks like it's gonna eventually break on the downside, because it is, like we said in the start, like it is already breaking these trends towards the upside. Right now it's some kind of trend up here. The most important line when the time when this big drop is gonna start happening on the DXY is coming very close. You can see this trend line up here, nicely up here, create this trend line. It's very steep. So once we start breaking this trend line towards downside, that's when you're gonna see, you know, bigger moves on Bitcoin happening. Right now we are still, you know, up here on top, you know, zigzagging up here. Might even be some kind of rising wedge or some kind of triangle up here. But as soon as we start breaking this on downside, it's pretty much over. It's pretty much over. We are looking for a bigger move toward downside. I'm not saying this is gonna go to zero, but the move toward downside is gonna happen, and Bitcoin is gonna start recovering nicely, either towards upside or is gonna go into very, you know, Bitcoin might go into very nice accumulation phase. And it also fits very nicely with my accumulation phase theory that, you know, for next 3 to 6 months we're gonna go into accumulation phase. I'm heavily dollar cost averaging to ETH, Sol, AVAX, NEAR, Matic, TOTS. All good projects. From what I hear, all good projects. I don't know everything, you know, besides that. Respect market structure. Market structure again. Ayo, Sasha. Ahoy. How you doing, man? Bitcoin, why covers the spiritual monthly? Long time bear market. Next rally up to 31, then lower. Alpine Stalcom. Alpine Stalcom. How can you say that when you say market structure? Lower lows, higher lows. How can it actually ever go up again? Dollar cost averaging is crazy unless fine. At close to the bottom, but first last, I don't think at the close to the bottom. Like, yeah, I'm not proponing dollar cost averaging at the top during some euphoria phase, but we just had a capitulation phase like no else. We are below 20k, 1978k. Like, you gotta tell me, like, you know, because people right now, technical analysis like me, seeing some kind of, you know, 70, 80, 19k or some kind of bottom. Very bearish people seeing some kind of 13 to 14, 15k or some kind of bottom. I would call, you know, the crazy people, sometimes they're right, they're looking at 10, 11k. Wackos, total wackos, looking at some kind of 6, 5k. And then there is this, you know, blown out of their minds people that are looking at some kind of 300 to 400 Bitcoin, right? Which level it's gonna come, it's very hard to say, but people are already calling the bottoms. People are already saying this is a very nice time to start dollar cost averaging. So, you know, maybe you can wait for some kind of 14k, maybe you can wait for some kind of 11k. But what if this level never come? Because it's good probability that they will not come as well. Did you hear about ISO 20022 XRP thoughts? I heard about ISO 20022 before, about this new standard or whatever that is. And people are saying, you know, XRP got something to do with that, you know, but I'm not there. XRP looks more like it's gonna become a stable coin eventually. Like XRP, the problem I have with XRP, I'm sorry guys, I have to say something about XRP. You know, I don't know much about XRP, so I'm not talking about any kind of, what am I gonna say? I'm not talking about any kind of, you know, fundamental experience or stuff like that. I don't know what's happening, but I just looking at the chart. Let's look at a logarithmic chart up here. This is not good stuff. Like you coming down to these bottoms down here again. This is not the good stuff. It's still climbing a little bit towards upside. That might be nice, but number one, you did not have the new top on the upside. And why is this actually bad? Because these tops up here, once they broke, they can explode towards upside. Right now we have a top and we have lower low up here. What I think might be actually good for XRP, if you look at this big time frame, let's look at a monthly time frame up here. There's right now a trend line up here that's being created right now. And if and maybe even on the bottom side there is some kind of triangle up here being created on XRP. Just maybe, something like this, give or take, really doesn't matter. It looks like some kind of, you know, consolidation pattern up here on bigger time frames. And right now it might be at some kind of bottom, but hey, maybe this is actually very good for XRP. Maybe XRP will bounce up to some 16 level or something like that. Maybe this is low up here, who knows. The problem I have is it did not make a higher high up here. That's the problem, and it went all the way down to the bottoms again, you know, down here when we had it in April 2022. This is you know, 2017 bottom down here. You know, it exploded a little bit up here towards that, and you know, right back down again. This is the bottom down here. It is below previous bottom on XRP, so you know that's the kind of problem I have with XRP. But if this is the bottom for XRP and it starts rallying up here, it can break this trend line up here on the monthly time frame, right? XRP can have a very big move towards upside. That's gonna be something that's some insane gains for XRP. Not actually say like 23x or something like that. That's 23. If it moves higher, it might be like something like 100x or something like that. Depends on how high this thing can actually go, right? Depends on how high this thing can actually go. But you know, if it starts breaking this bottom support down here as well, you know, it might be looking bad. I don't know much about XRP, but I don't like that it didn't do a higher high on during the bull market. That's what I don't like. Blowout of them minus 300 Bitcoin. Love your words. XRP will only use during euphoria stage. It's dead until Fed starts printing again, regardless of court case. I don't know how that actually works out. XLM Algo R2022 certified. I don't know what that even means, because I'm not following these stuffs. What coin do you think will replace Bitcoin in the future? None. There is nothing like, you cannot say that Dogecoin is gonna replace. You gotta understand, guys, Bitcoin is a brand. It doesn't matter what other coins have, how much faster transactions they have, how much more decentralized they have. Bitcoin is a brand. It's not going away, guys. It's not going away. Bitcoin, like the name Bitcoin, is such a huge brand, man. It's not going away. ADA, of course. ADA might take over for Ethereum. I don't think, you know, ADA and Bitcoin has nothing in common, guys. You know, they are two different things. I mean, market cap wise, maybe ADA surpass Bitcoin, but I don't think that's gonna happen, because Bitcoin is kind of store of value. So, you know, people are just buying or hodling Bitcoin. The supply is getting less and less. The market, you know, demand is getting more and more. There is no way Bitcoin can stay down. Like, there is no way. only it can replace Bitcoin. No, Ethereum and Cardano might, do their thing, but maybe. I mean, gold is not that high. It's a 10 trillion market cap or something like that, right? Market cap of gold. What's market cap of gold? 11 trillion. Okay. And market cap Amazon market cap is 1 trillion, but it is not like it is like Nasdaq. It's not 25.12 billion. So yeah, Ethereum might go above Bitcoin. Ethereum might go above Bitcoin because Ethereum is like collection of Amazons and Apples and stuff like that. It's just a blockchain that actually everything is on. So maybe, but this is bad kind of analysis. ADA does nothing, but it will do soon. And ADA is like Bitcoin because of UTXO, but with programming and less energy intensive. Like everything is like Bitcoin. It's a blockchain. DGB can replace Bitcoin. Not sure about that. What's the market of gold which flies through space? Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah. 100 trillion. I don't know. Sold us something. Now when Bitcoin goes down, when dollar value goes down, it might just explode through the roof. What about if government ban Bitcoin and start their own coin or token? No, they have no reason to ban Bitcoin. Like everybody in government owns some Bitcoin. Like it's very accepted. They don't want to ban the big guys. Governments don't want to ban stuff. Just they're gonna ban Monero or Zcash or stuff like that, right? They might even, the only thing government cares about is control, right? And as long as they, they know that, their friends and family and stuff like that are using Bitcoin and it's regulated, you pay taxes on Bitcoin, they really don't care. Like, is government banning other currency in the country? No, they like currency. They don't care. Hey man, come trade with us. You want to use Bitcoin? No problem whatsoever. Just pay tax. It's fine. Government doesn't care. Government only cares about regulation, guys. Government cares that they get the tax, and that's why I say if you want Bitcoin to go anywhere, like accept regulation. It's fine. Trauma-based mind control is trendy. What? Probably look at each chart. 15 minutes. For Captain, for you, anything. 15-minute chart. Yeah, like everything else. Not like everything else, but it did break the trend though. It did break the trend. Looks like it broke the trend up here. Let's try to find a nice trend up here. Nah, kinda didn't. Yeah, kinda did. It kind of broke the trend right back down. Then right now it's above the trend. It does look nice. Like got some kind of support down here at 1059 or something like that. This is just a short-term trend up here. What might happen, right? Just short-term trend up here. There is definitely some kind of resistance as well up here at the top. Let me see up here. Yeah, maybe there is a resistance up here at the top. So I'm looking at this trend line over here and this resistance up here. If you can manage to get above the 200 moving average up here, it just might continue towards upside. On the other hand, if it goes back below a line up here and goes below the support down here, it might continue a little bit more towards downside again. So it did nice move. It did pull back up here on the 15 moving average and the 15 trend line. But how long this can actually go on? This is 15 trend line. So this is entire this part up here. This is just today, guys. This is just today. The moves up down. It's just today. Thanks. I'm in a scalp short, but I'm getting tired and confused. It looks a little bit more bullish to me because we are back above the trend line up here. So there might be a move down to the support down here. But as soon as this, you can see how nice this trend line is. Very nice trend line. You can see up here we came to that trend line, pulled back, and then broke the trend line. Over here we went below it, but we did not, after we coming below it, we did not go down. We just kind of zigzagged up here, then went up to the resistance again up here, created this stop, and this stop up here. So right now it's moving back a little bit, but if it gets down support at around what's that, yeah, 10,059 and then breaks towards the upside, then it might rally towards the upside a little bit. When did you enter? I want to know what your average buy price or average short price. Are you trading today? Good question, guys. I slept well. I slept 8 hours today. slept very well, feeling very good. There will definitely 100% be a trade today. We will be trading again. We are out of the World Series of Trading. We forgot to mention World Series of Trading, guys. Let's reload the page. And although I'm out of the out of the competition, our team, TI Fans Club, right now is 9.71% up. We you know, our squad's overall rank is 199th. So, you know, we are doing, let's see who is up here top. Tyler is at top, 51.335%. Tyler, congratulations, you're doing very well right now. Miranche, 13%, Car, 24%, that's top 3. Alif, who is down at 11%, Alif was a lot higher up there. Crypto Canavari, 00, Kbit, 047. So these guys are top. You guys are doing well, guys. You guys are doing well. On the other hand, I am liquidated. And I am liquidated as well. And there is Jan is also almost liquidated. And there are a bunch of other guys. Mohammed is down to 40%, but I think he's still, you know, holding up. His trades are still holding up. Maybe he can definitely recover. And there are other with the smaller losses that can recover as well. So I hope for your sake, guys, that, you know, everything's gonna play out nicely. 1064.5. I'm already, but I will re-enter at 17k. So 64. Yeah, I'm looking at you know, when you zoom in down here very tightly, I'm looking at this support line down here, give or take. What is the support line? Maybe something like this up here. I'm looking at support line, but you know, I like my support line corresponds nicely with these moving averages. So this 50 moving average down to the 50 moving average, that's the you know, that's the most I would actually take the, you know, chance on right now. That's like something like 6% profit. I don't know how much that, but you know, it's not a lot. On the other hand, if you start breaking this you know, these trends towards downside down here, and the support down here at 1047 is very important. If you start breaking the trend line up here, you know, break the support, this might actually go towards downside, but you need to watch that, you know, this doesn't just go down here and, you know, recovers and, you know, breaks the resistance, because if this starts breaking, you know, towards upside up here, it's gonna be pretty bad. You're already underwater a little bit. This is 1 minute chart. Nah, we're not gonna do 1 minute chart. But I think maybe it can pull down to 59, maybe down here to, you know, 56 or something like that. But a little bit unsure how much this can actually pull down. Now, if Bitcoin is very bearish, this just might continue on the downside. We don't know, but it needs to break the trend line first. There's no guarantee to go down to 70k. Of course, there is no guarantee. We only have probabilities. World Series of Money heist from Bybit. Yeah, what's wrong with that? In that case, I'm already in. How about 5 minute chart? 5 minute chart. Yeah, 5 minute chart got this bull flag, maybe this is a bull flag or some kind of falling wedge up here. Because right now up here it had a big move towards upside. Right now it's consolidating this, you know, whatever you're gonna call it, falling wedge or stuff like that. So it can definitely go down a little bit more, but you know, if it starts breaking this trend up here on 5 minute chart, this up here trend, give or take. If it starts breaking this towards upside, it's already, you know, starting looking good up here, right? On 1 minute chart, you can see this a little bit better up here. Maybe some lines like this up here, maybe up there, give or take. And the bottom line is down here. It's not this one, maybe something like this as well. There we go. So it's already kind of, you know, broke through on 1 minute chart up here towards upside, but a 5 minute chart is still getting, you know, rejected and stuff like that. So, you know, that's what I'm betting on. So it is a little bit hard. The small time frames, you like, even if you look at a 1 minute time frame up here, this plays out very fast. Like you go to the toilet and back, it's already played out, right? So you gotta, so, you know, looking at 50 minute charts and stuff like that might be nice, but it's already kind of consolidating up here. It's already had a big move towards the upside above the resistance. It's already consolidating above the moving averages. It already came very close down here to some kind of 62 down here. So will it go back again down here? You know, if it's bullish, it can just continue going up like it's right now, because this is already consolidation up here. Sorry for being underwater, but you know, there's that. Well, hell, well, I should have long scaled then. Yeah. Trend lines are hugely important, guys. Trend lines. Patterns, trend lines, very, very important. You know, moving averages, so forth, so forth. Support resistance lines. Bobby slogan, will all nothing and be happy. You will all nothing and be happy. Yeah, it's okay. Anyways, guys, that's for Bitcoin Daily so far. We've been streaming for 1 hour and, you know, 20 minutes. That's way too long for a Bitcoin Daily, but I hope you did get some kind of, you know, you're a little bit smarter than you are when we started. So, you know, hit the like button on the way out. I'll see you there. I'm trading while tired. That's the problem. Exactly. Do not ever trade while tired. Sleep well. If you didn't have 8 hours of sleep, do not trade, guys. Do not trade. Today we'll trade because I am feeling nice. The body is a little bit shaky. I need to start eating better, less junk food, you know, and stuff like that. But besides that, you know, my mind is working. I'm told it's rising rates so bearish. You don't believe me. Who said I don't believe you? Indian government will take 30% tax on profit from 1st July. What's your take on that? 30% isn't too much. Maybe they are stopping people to buy. 30% on profit, like after a year. There is the fan. 30% on every trade. There is a, you know, that's huge. That's huge, right? After every trade you get tax 30%. That's just as insane, right? But if you just like, you know, yearly 30% tax, that's normal. Norway is like 30% or something like that, right? That's good. Like if the government is putting tax on Bitcoin, if government is putting regulation on Bitcoin, they're not trying to, you know, slow down the Bitcoin. They just want a piece of the cake. You gotta understand that, guys. Governments love Bitcoin. Governments have friends, family that own Bitcoin and crypto. They don't want to ban it. They want to just regulate it. They want to tax it. And once that's done, it's going to the moon, guys. It's going to the moon. How about exercise, walking, Jay? I think exercise and walking might actually work out. So, you know, I might start doing something like that. I don't know. But I think the first step right now, you know, because right now I start sleeping very well. So that's very good. And, you know, I've been sleeping, you know, last 3 days I kind of messed it up. But right now I'm back on track and doing well. So I think, you know, after sleep, it's food. I need to start eating well to feel better. And after that, you know, a little bit of workout. And once I got these 3 things, you know, set up, I think it's, you know, after that, like, there is no stopping us, guys. We're gonna go to 1 million on the 400 million challenge. Everything is gonna be very nice. Everything is gonna be very nice. Anyways, guys, thanks for stopping by. Hit the like button on the way out, of course. Subscribe to the channel if subscribe. Tomorrow morning, Bitcoin Daily, 9 AM 10 PM time again. I'll see you guys then. Trade carefully. Bye-bye.